Hi, this is David Comfort from Democracy Action Network. Here's what's actually wild. We are now 6 months into the second Trump administration, and the chaos in trade policy is more pronounced than ever. Forget the art of the deal. What we're witnessing is more like a circus of smoke, mirrors, and random tariff math. Allies are becoming ex-allies, and the financial markets seem to be sleepwalking through this chaos. What if I told you that the current trade regime lacks any real clarity or consistency? It's all about threats of tariffs and arbitrary calculations that can change at a moment's notice. The Trump administration has abandoned the very notion of what a trade deal means. Instead of negotiated agreements with enforceable commitments, we get flashy announcements and vague frameworks that don't hold any weight in the real world. Ever notice how the administration's so-called deals with countries like the UK and Japan are little more than restatements of existing agreements? They're devoid of substance and only serve to create headlines. The media plays along, but the reality is that these agreements do nothing to shape global commerce. This is a classic case of performative politics, where the focus is on the show rather than the outcome. The implications are staggering. Without credible commitments, foreign nations have no incentive to negotiate with the US. They're not going to invest in a relationship that could be upended by a tweet. Instead, countries are starting to decouple from the US, seeking alternative trade partners and supply chains. Mexico, for example, is pivoting towards Europe and Asia, while the EU is investing heavily in strategic autonomy. The absurdity here is that the US stock market remains relatively calm, banking on the idea that Trump always chickens out. This complacency is dangerous. Markets often fail to recognize structural shifts, and the risk is that we're heading towards a world where American economic leadership is irreparably damaged. The long-term cost of these policies will be significant: higher prices, declining exports, and a loss of investor confidence. The analogy to Brexit is fitting. Just as the UK has seen its GDP shrink, the US could face a similar self-inflicted wound. In a world where globalization has been a major driver of prosperity, unraveling these connections for the sake of political optics is courting decline. As other nations strengthen their own trade networks, the US risks finding itself on the periphery of the global economy. This isn't just a puzzle, it's a critical moment for understanding the future of our economic influence. Let's navigate this together. This is David Comfort from Democracy Action Network. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. It would help out a lot. Peace.